Some HOAs enforce rules. This one just enforced illusions. But when they tried to evict me from the house I own, they forgot one thing. I read fine print like it's a survival skill, and I don't mind spending a little money to bury a problem. House Chapter 1. The Welcome Committee. It started with a letter. No stamp, no envelope, just a cheap flyer shoved into my screen door with a red logo that looked like it had been made on Microsoft Word. Welcome to the Ridgecrest community. It listed guidelines like no satellites, lawn height maximum 3.5 inches, no parking in your own driveway after 9 p.m. I laughed, and I saw the last line. Annual dues, $1,200. First payment due immediately. I just moved into my house 2 weeks earlier. A house I bought cash, free and clear, in a quiet cul-de-sac of Ridgecrest Estates. A fixer-upper, but all mine. I wasn't told anything about an HOA, so I looked up the company. Their website was a one-pager with a blurry logo and a Gmail address. Then came a knock. Woman office worker, Chapter 2. This is just how it works here. Karen. No name tag, no clipboard, just high heels, a designer knockoff purse, and sunglasses that never left her face. I'm Karen, she said with practiced cheer. I run Ridgecrest. You mean the HOA? She smiled wider. Exactly. You're the last one on the street to sign. Just need your signature and payment. I didn't agree to join an HOA. Actually, all properties here are subject to Ridgecrest governance. We've been in place since 2004. I stepped back inside and came out with my closing documents. Flipped to the zoning section. Not this lot. My property was carved out as an independent parcel in 2003. No HOA jurisdiction. It's right here. She didn't even look. Just sniffed. That's going to be a problem. She turned and left. Open mailbox with raised flag, Chapter 3, the paper storm. Within a week, I got 3 notices. Violation. Trash bins visible from the street. Violation. Unapproved exterior paint, even though I hadn't painted a thing. Warning. Failure to submit HOA dues will result in lien placement and potential eviction. I emailed their office. No response. I called a number. It went straight to voicemail. Then the real kicker. A guy in khakis, some kid with a printed badge labeled HOA agent, showed up, tried to take photos of my house for records. I told him to leave. He threatened escalation. So I escalated. Magnifying glass tilted left, Chapter 4, finding the cracks. I hired a lawyer, not because I was scared, but because I knew something stunk. And sure enough, the HOA wasn't legally recognized. They had filed for nonprofit status, but never completed it. They collected dues without licenses. The office was a rented room in a business complex downtown. Worse, they had no legal claim over several houses on my street, but they had bullied people for years into believing they did. My lawyer drafted a cease and desist. We mailed it. Then I drove to their office to deliver a copy myself. It was Suite 204, a dusty room with peeling signage that read Ridgecrest Community Support Center. Inside, a desk, a dusty printer, and an old man in cargo shorts who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. I left a letter and a warning, if you contact me again, we're going to court. Package Chapter 5, Retaliation. The next day, a final notice taped to my door. Eviction pending due to failure to comply with community governance. No judge, no hearing, just paper. That was it. Time to end this. Receipt Chapter 6, the purchase. I call my lawyer and my real estate agent. Found out the entire office building that housed their fake headquarters was being quietly sold due to back taxes and foreclosure risk. So I made an offer. $42,000 in cash. 2 weeks later, I owned the whole building. And guess who was still leasing Suite 204? Karen and her HOA crew. Their lease had expired. Month to month. Zero protection. So I did what any good landlord would do. White heavy check mark, doubled their rent. White heavy check mark, then tripled it. White heavy check mark, then served notice to vacate within 30 days. Telephone receiver, Chapter 7, the breakdown. Karen called me, screaming, "You can't do this. This is illegal." "You mean like forming an HOA without legal authority, collecting fake dues, and threatening residents with eviction?" Silence. I continued, "You've got 30 days. After that, I'll be turning the office into a dog yoga studio." She hung up. Prohibited Chapter 8, the collapse. The flyers stopped. No more notices. No more agents. The HOA website went down. 2 neighbors dropped by to say thanks. One even handed me an old notice Karen had given them back in 2020, threatening fines for wind chimes louder than 50 decibels. I put a wind chime on my porch the next morning. Checkered flag, Chapter 9, aftermath. Karen moved 2 months later. Her house sold at a loss. I renovated the former HOA office into a community space. Not for rules, not for gossip, just for people. A place where neighbors could talk, connect, and laugh. Every time someone new moves into the neighborhood, I'll walk over and say, "Welcome to Ridgecrest. Don't worry, there's no HOA here anymore." Because sometimes the best way to kill a fake empire is to buy the castle it's pretending to rule from and raise the rent to the moon.